The drama The Regime, starring Kate Winslet as the paranoid chancellor of a made-up Central European republic, is described as darkly comedic by HBO. In addition to presenting some of the show's most strange moments, such as the chancellor reprimanding her cabinet from an ice-filled tub, the premiere featured Winslet's Elena Vernon singing an awkward version of Chicago's If You Leave Me Now to American diplomats during an estate dinner. Although it would be unfair to describe the 6-episode series, which aired on March 3, as darkly funny, it is not a comedy in the traditional sense. While Tracy, the show's creator, portrays The Regime as a gloomy superficial investigation of the dangers of authoritarianism and the somber fact of America's role in the tyranny of people all over the world, it isn't really funny, instructional, or insightful. Weakness is a characteristic shared by all autocratic strongmen, or, in the instance of Kate Winslet's Elena Vernon in The Regime, autocratic strong women. Their major response to a crisis or even a slight affront is violence and oppression, which is enforced by the military and supported by media propagandists and bureaucracy. They are usually egotistical, impressionable, insecure, and occasionally mad. They utilize nationalism to market themselves, manage elections to appear free and fair, maintain power through any means necessary, and live in a lavish paranoid bubble within the palace. Elena, the leader of a fictitious Central European nation resembling the Grand Budapest Hotel and the death of Stalin, responds aggressively to a domestic situation, demonstrating the weakness of the strong lady. Elena's first inclination is to have Corporal Herbert Zubak, one of the homicidal troops, follow her around. Because the economy is in free decline and the army's shooting down of 12 demonstrators at a cobalt mine has hurt the country's already poor human rights reputation, even if Zubak wasn't severely drugged at their first encounter, his responsibilities would be unclear to him. But Elena's gesture says more than anything else. She informs Zubak that the demonstrators acted like animals, and the military just replied. In just one episode, Elena and Zubak's relationship changes dramatically, hinting that Elena's grip on her tin pot kingdom is slipping, and Zubak is perceptive enough to know when and how to capitalize on it. Will Tracy, the creator of this caustic, perverted, politically astute humor, previously served as The Onion's editor-in-chief. He wrote about Succession and co-authored The Menu, a comedy about a 3-star kitchen that functions as its own cruel authoritarian dictatorship, with Seth Rice, another Onion graduate. Tracy is an Armando Iannucci school comedy writer who specializes in the absurdities of the super-rich, whose overwhelming venality and incompetence may be both amusing and disastrous. The Regime is a spoof of global history. Elena's castle exudes paranoia, evocative of Dr. Strangelove, especially on Victory Day, when she defeated the previous neo-Marxist chancellor in an election that may or may not have been fair. Given America's interest in cobalt resources, it appears that the traditional CIA encouraged capitalist-friendly right-wing takeovers in Central and South America. Elena is similar to General Jack D. Ripper, played by Sterling Hayden in Strangelove. Instead of worried about communists ruining our delicate biological fluids by fluoridating the water, Elena believes that spores have contaminated the palace. A chancellor literally wrecking her own palace is an appropriate metaphor for a failing monarchy, but we're not sure if the spore obsession began with her. Others, particularly Susan, Elena's finance minister, and her doctor, who happens to be attached to Susan's hip, take advantage of Elena's flaws. Even Elena can sense the vultures gathering as she hosts an official reception with the CEO of an American energy company as the most important guest. The mine's demise has given the CEO an opportunity to negotiate a majority stake in Susan's cobalt company, which she has been pushing for. Americans are perfectly capable of turning a blind eye to human rights breaches in the economic world. However, in terms of cold hard discussions, this gives them more bargaining leverage. The episode's hilarious main point is the reaction, which is as funny and character-revealing as Kendall Roy's well-known L to the OG WAP dedication to his father on Succession. Instead of a DJ Squiggle original, Elena's song is a lounge version of Chicago's If You Leave Me Now, emphasizing Winslet's distinct accent and vocal range, which differs significantly from Peter Cetera's. She sings to the crowd, "If you leave me now, you will take away my very heart. I will be heartbroken." Like the Kendall WAP, This is one of those few cases when someone is too stubborn to be persuaded otherwise. It's also another sign that her arrogance is overpowering her better judgment. Zubak looks to be rapidly reacting to the chaos as it unfolds, leading up to his stunning takeover of power. He is informed that his responsibilities include following Elena around, measuring the humidity with a hydrometer, and keeping anyone from touching her. Elena, on the other hand, discreetly pulls him aside and slaps him across the face for making her appear silly in front of the foreign visitors during the reception. She urges him, next time, turn the gun on yourself, referring to the catastrophe. His isolation from her circle proves to be only temporary. When he beats a large invader to within an inch of his life in her bedroom, Elena wishes to have Zubak by her side. She, and probably we, are astonished to find that Zubak has been observing. He's finally able to tell her the truth about the intrigues behind her spore disease and the discussions surrounding the cobalt mines. He goes on to say, "You told me to crush them and anyone who makes you weak, and now they're making fun of us because you dance at the circus with foreign currency like a sick bear." All of this is like music to Elena's ears, bolstering her resolve to cope with the Americans and giving her the courage to drive Susan and her doctor out of the palace for their nefarious plans. It may also raise this mad, lethal soldier to the position of highest power in the country. The powerful lady continues to remain weak while Andrea Riseborough plays Elena's chief minister, who departs to mock the regular people rebuilding and re-renovating the palace. We'll have to wait and see how much influence she makes. "Don't go soiling this, I've cared for it my entire life," she tells Zubak as she leads him into his chamber. Even though Elena has blind patches, she is aware enough of her surroundings to laugh at Susan's claim that the people want progress. "You can hear them grunting from your country house," she said. Gulam, Elena's put-upon husband, has a hilarious past. He is initially seen referring to the mine massacre as a little spicy. Later, he casually tells attendees at the reception about meeting her in Paris and eventually leaving.